Yeah, so our investment process is based on the belief that investors behave in predictably irrational ways, and this can create compelling investment opportunities. To this end, we've designed screens to capture 7 different investor behaviors that can signal that the market is giving us an opportunity to buy a stock below its intrinsic value. Sure, one of these biases would be underreaction. Stocks in the long term tend to track estimate revisions, and as estimates go up, investors over time incorporate this into the stock price. One example would be Mellanox Technologies, where it had accelerating sales growth and margin expansion, and as estimates were rising over time, the value was slowly being incorporated into the price. And that situation ultimately culminated in it being acquired by one of its competitors at a significant premium.
Yeah, sure. We have an advisory board of 4 experts in behavioralism, and we meet with them like once a quarter. So basically they do 2 things. One is keeping us updated on the state of the art of the literature on behavioral finance, and the other thing is helping us to design our investment process in a way that keeps us protected on our own bias.
So we incorporate 2 factors there. One is the fundamental analysis, where we focus on quality companies with low leverage that generate returns on capital in excess of their cost of capital. So these companies create value over time. The second factor is, again, looking for these behavioral triggers in which estimates maybe have started to rise or the stock performance has started to outperform the overall market, signaling that the worst is over and better days are ahead.
Actually, Spain has a leading community in terms of academics in the field of behavioral finance that have been active in publishing books and articles in top journals. But yeah, given that this is the first fund that incorporates behavioral finance that is launched in Europe, it's true that we are attracting the attention of some other investors.
Well, there are certainly examples of leading asset managers in the United States that have long incorporated behavioral factors into their internal decision-making processes. This is something that we intend to do over time, and as we build out our process and focus not only on the external factors but also on our internal decision processes, we believe that we'll also be able to demonstrate similar levels of success. We certainly think so. Our objective as value investors is to buy securities below their intrinsic value. And we think that by incorporating behavioral factors, both external and internal, we'll be able to even add to that margin of safety and in the long term generate better returns for our investors.
Yes, they are. This is actually work in progress, but we are trying to make them help us to design our process better in a way that we incorporate checklists and other issues that can help us to keep a better behavior in terms of how we react to market news and also, in some sense, to keep us protected from our own biases.